up.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Our SurfNet Communications poll question, KZOZ.com. SurfNet Communications, over 15 years of experience getting you connected with speeds faster than DSL or satellite. They are your leader in rural broadband internet. That is SurfNet Communications. Hit the link at KZOZ.com. How concerned are you about voter fraud playing a role in this election? This ran over the weekend, right?
Yeah, this is the poll question starting 2 o'clock on Friday, and then running until 2 o'clock today.
Yeah, so we launched this Friday morning before we left, before the news came out on Saturday. That's I probably could have done more due diligence in this, but it sounds like the media has called the election. I don't know if they've actually certified this election or not. I believe they have not certified this election yet. So I don't know where it stands, but obviously Joe Biden is got his 270 votes, and that means that he's moving forward. He's got a team together. He's already putting out his mandates for.
They made a speech.
He made several speeches, and anyway, so this poll is interesting, and I'm not sure how you feel about it. That's why we have the poll up. I think we should leave it up for a little bit, let people vote on it. And the options are not at all, no fraud at all, not too much. Not too much? What is that? Just a little. I'm very little.
I guess not too much means that, like, yeah, there's some fraud involved, but you know what? It's not going to affect.
It happens
it's not going to affect the end results.
A little concerned that there could be fraud, or very concerned that there could be fraud. And this is what people have said, all right? This started on Friday, and it's now Monday, so they've had several days to vote. 57% say they're very concerned that there is fraud. So whatever news that they're consuming, they believe that's the case. 28% say not at all. Those are our two major categories, but that's about half. And then 7% say not much, and another 7% say, I'm a little concerned. You can let us know.
A little concerned about fraud. It's so funny because you're like, yeah, somebody's going to come and steal a bunch of stuff from you.
And what I saw on the news over the weekend here locally and nationally, if you voted for Biden, and I'm sure you did it very fair, just like, a lot of people did. I don't think they would ever want to accept the fact that there could have been any fraud by anybody in this thing. Especially if the outcome changes. Now, what does this mean? Vicky just writes in. She said she received 2 ballots. My friend's dead mother received a ballot.
That's interesting.
That is very interesting.
So what happens if you vote on those ballots, the 2 ballots? I don't care about the friend's dead mom.
I can't answer that question.
But I think you can go to jail if you vote twice. And that they find that you vote twice, that you can go to jail. So, I mean, did it happen? I don't know.
It's weird because, I think most people probably feel like I do. I'm just ready to put this all behind me and move on whatever way it goes. But I don't think that's going to happen for quite some time. If lawsuits have been filed, how long does that take?
Well, I think that this moves up on the priority list of judges if the lawsuits have been filed and they start the hearings. I mean, it's not like 2 years from now we're going to get a result in this, because what the hell happens to the presidency of the country?
No, of course not 2 years, but I mean weeks, months. Is it going to be weeks or months?
It could be January.
Wow,
it could be January.
And so the ugliness just continues. It's crazy. Anyways, let us know what you think, would you? I mean, the poll question is at KZOZ.com, and the question is, how concerned are you about voter fraud playing a role in this last election? From not at all to very concerned and everything in the middle.
Makes for an interesting story for the media to follow for the next 4 or 5 years.
I'm over the news, man.
I guess they win at the end of the day, right?
I am just so over the news right now. Matter of fact, I have not watched any news for several weeks, but except for the election, I did break my rule and watch it. I wanted to see what was happening, what people said, but didn't watch any over the weekend. Watched a lot of movies, a lot of free movies on Netflix. Van Halen.
That's not free movies.
Well, whatever.
You got your money's worth on Netflix.
There you go. I finally got my money's worth on Netflix this weekend.
Things we didn't get to in hashtag form with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
So I wanted to look into the certified, when the election will be certified. It has not been certified yet. The media, like we said, was who called the election for Joe Biden. And so it seems like this could take weeks, months. It all depends, like you said, Jeff, on these actions that the Trump campaign is taking against different polling places, voter fraud, all that kind of stuff. I just saw an update from the news that says Trump not backing down. Campaign manager says urging staff to have patience amid legal battles. So we'll see. But in the meantime, I think Joe Biden is doing exactly what you would do in this situation. And he's got, people together. He's already got, I've heard news that he's got somebody to, battle the coronavirus, a doctor. He's already putting a list of things together that he wants to do.
He's got a doctor. I hope he is a doctor. You see his age?
No, not him personally. But it was somebody from the Obama administration that Trump had fired within the first year of it being in office. He's bringing back to head the fight against COVID-19. What's
Fauci do then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he got a job? That guy's been doing the work since Reagan administration.
Yeah, I don't know where Fauci goes. Maybe he's done in January too. I don't know. Or maybe he goes back to doing something else. I'm not really sure.
I don't think he was part of
hashtag election.
I don't think he was part of Trump's crew. I think he was part of the CDC.
He probably stays in the CDC or just takes a less vital role.
And we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
He probably really hopes for a less vital role. I know that guy's got death threats this year and really unfortunate stuff.
So yesterday, getting ready to watch football, get the notice that Alex Trebek has died.
Sad.
And, it's sad. We knew that he had cancer. And it was really well because, he really didn't come out and cry about it. You know what I mean? He wasn't coming out. He wasn't making a big deal about it. Obviously, because of his position with Jeopardy, that he had to say, some things about it. And he really kept to himself. And I always thought I always respected that guy. That he had a house in Nacimiento. He also had a house out near Creston. He had a ranch, actually. Did you ever go out to that ranch? It was a horse ranch.
No.
I went out for a wine event there 10 years ago. He didn't own it then. He had sold it. But definitely having ties here to the Central Coast.
Yeah, I love this area.
There's a lot of interesting stories coming out. I guess this aired on Thursday. Somebody who was a contestant on the show.
Any family members back home cheering you on?
Here's a true story, man. I grew up, I learned English because of you. And so my grandfather, who raised me, I'm going to get tears right now. I used to sit on his lap and watch you every day. So it's a pretty special moment for me, man. Thank you very much.
So somebody who looked up to him his whole life. Pretty cool.
Producer for the show says that Alex Trebek spent his final day watching the horizon with his wife. Apparently I don't know what that means. I'm guessing just looking off into the horizon, just watching the day transpire.
Brad just wrote in on the 805 beer text lines, 805-543-3693, reminding you to properly chill with an 805. 805beer.com. Trebek is number 2 after Connery.
Oh, God.
Remember, I told we were talking about this.
No, you're right.
And you said I'm crazy.
You're right, Brad. Yeah.
That it comes in 3s.
Too bad. Well, I hope that's not bad news for Al Roker, who says he's going to go in for prostate cancer surgery. He announced this on Friday's show that he'll be taking some time off to undergo the surgery for prostate cancer after a routine checkup in September turned up the disease. Prostate cancer is one that, if they catch it early enough, guys can usually get past it, right?
Do you know anybody that's had prostate cancer?
My stepfather.
And he beat it.
Yeah.
Here's Al Roker.
After a routine checkup in September, turns out I have prostate cancer. And it's a good news, bad news kind of thing. And good news is we caught it early. Not great news is that it's a little aggressive. So I'm going to be taking some time off to take care of this. And it's one of those things that it's a little more common than people, I think, realize. And so I just decided that I wanted to go public with this because 1 in 9 men are going to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. But for African-American men, that number is 1 in 7 and is more deadly. So if you detect it early, this is a really treatable disease. And it's why I wanted to take you along my journey so we can all learn together how to educate and protect the men in our lives.
Okay, so if he's going to be taking us along for the journey, he's not going to be working. How are we going to be along for the journey? Because
social media, I'm sure he'll do updates.
Okay, all right. Okay,
We're going into the surgery room with him.
Nobody wants to see that. We had a friend that was going to get a vasectomy once. We were going to do that live on the radio. The owner found out she got mad. We didn't end up not doing it.
It's a bad idea.
I think we moved here before he had it done.
Good thing that they stepped in.
Here's my thing, this is why once you get into your 40s, man, you got to go get that blood work done every year so they can catch this stuff early. Otherwise, you get it gets aggressive, it gets big, and then who knows? He doesn't talk about what stage it's in, but you definitely want to get it at the early stages.
Well, they caught it. He said they caught it early, but then that it's aggressive.
Yeah.
So that's not great for him. So I don't know.
It's different for everybody. We get it, and there's different kinds of cancer and all that kind of stuff. So something I can't stop thinking about, though, is how many people have you heard that they lose a bunch of weight and then something happens to them? Now, he's had this weight off for a number of years, but I feel like people go through these huge life transformations. They lose all this weight, and then they get cancer. And I wonder if something happens that shocks your body when you lose that much weight. I don't know. I just can't stop thinking about it. And I wonder sometimes, is it better just to be fat? Your doctor would probably tell you no.
Everybody's like a snowflake, Jeremy. I think there's no two the same, and maybe, possibly.
Okay.
That is the case.
That's very true. Some people it's good to be fat. Other people it's probably not.
I'm going to say overall, though, it's probably best to not be fat.
Matthew McConaughey is writing a book. And in his new book, he's revealing that he was blackmailed into having sex at 15. And that he was molested by a man at 18 after being knocked unconscious. Jeez. In the back of a van. In the back of a van. He was 18. But he didn't go to the media because he didn't want the media to
sensationalize it?
That's the word right there, Jeff. Let's hear from the man.
Well, I felt like those details could have just been grabbed to be purported for voyeurism. Yeah. They could have been the thing that every single show was going to go, read about the details of when Matthew was molested, or read about when he got blackmailed. Yeah. And that's the wrong headline. Because I write also in the book, I've never felt like a victim. You could argue, yes, was I victimized in those two situations? Sure. But that doesn't mean that I've carried on through my life to the feeling of, I was victimized, or, I was a victim, or that has, those two unfortunate events have turned me into the man that I am, or are even an excuse.
What I can appreciate about what he's saying, I'll get back to sensationalized here in a minute. Sometimes I just have a hard time saying words. But I respect what he's saying there, because he's saying, I'm not going to take something a misfortunate thing that happened to me in my life, and let it control me the rest of my life. I'm trying to find the word.
Yeah, you move on. You move past it.
I'm not going to let it define my life, define the rest of my life. That's what I'm looking for. So it didn't define his life. As a matter of fact, first I've heard of it. Sure, a lot of people. So anyways, he's got this book out. Why put it in the book? Because it was a part of your life, or because you want to sell books?
Yeah, see, I don't know.
It's probably because it's a part of his life.
And he wants to sell books. I'm guessing.
I mean, I'm assuming it's an autobiography, right?
I mean, how many more books are you going to sell once you put that in there? I bet it's a top 10 Oprah best pick.
I don't even know if that exists, what you just said.
A top 10 seller and an Oprah best pick?
Okay, there you go.
It's sensationalized by me. Why is this not working? Okay, just not going to work. Is it? That's why. Somebody hit the wrong button. All right, here we go. Know the show. 805-543-3693 are the numbers to get through. Gabe's up. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Good. How much did Jeff return from the 4-H section at the fair?
Well, you had two money situations. What if I got both right? Would you give me a double prize?
No. I don't know.
Probably not.
Well, let me look and see.
Hold on a second.
Let me look and see.
We have to look and see if anybody did not claim a prize last. Oh, Friday. He hung up. Yeah. We'll give you a double.
Okay, we'll give you double if you can get both. And tell me what's
but
double.
If you get none, if you miss one of them wrong, if you miss both of them, you get nothing.
Or you miss one and you get the other one right, you get nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you have to
fair enough. So at the fair, you found $100 and spare room $50.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's it. You get double. $40 to Federico's.
Yeah, that's great. That's date night for you.
Sweet. That a baby.
Not a baby.
There you go. Cameron says you should take him out on date night.
So he just got extra credit, basically. Sounds like. Because he answered the question and then,
right,
extra credit.
What would you do with the $50 if you found it in your guest room and you knew the three people that had been in your guest room? Would you say something or would you let it go? It's been, probably over a month and a half since somebody's in my guest room.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe me or my wife dropped it in there. Who knows? I mean, I don't know who could.
Like you already got $40 for Federico's. You want more?
What do you just walk around in your guest room dropping cash? That's weird.
Maybe sometimes.
Okay.
So I missed. So Jeremy, you still have the money? You haven't?
Yeah. I was in there yesterday. I was looking for a Cat 5 cable.
Oh, and that's when you found it.
Because I was having to redo my router, anyways. And I opened a drawer, and there was $50 sitting in the drawer.
Huh.
And I would never put money in there.
Oh, in the drawer. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's kind of.
And you think it was that passive aggressive thing, like she's paying you back for dinner, kind of?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
especially you didn't establish that it was in the drawer. I thought you just found it like on the floor or something like that.
Well, sorry, yeah.
And you haven't said like, hey, by the way, just reach out to this person you think maybe.
No, I just took it. It's still in the drawer. I don't know what to do with it, so I'm trying to figure that out. So once I figure that out, then I'll know what to do.
Well, maybe you should confirm.
But right now, it's just sitting there. I wanted to come in here and ask everybody today what they thought, and we were going to go from there.
So what, have you made your mind up yet?
I'm going to keep it.
Oh, and not say anything?
Why don't you ask all the parties involved? Because, there might be something bigger here.
Like a reward?
No. What if it's not any of the parties that you thought it was?
Somebody else that was in my guest room?
Somebody, yeah. And then you'll get a video emailed to you.
Do you have other ways of making money on the side?
You trying to call me a prostitute?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's leave the money on the dresser, not in the drawer, all right? Isn't that how the phrase goes?
But Jeremy never
gets it
right.
It was in a dresser drawer.
Come on.
I guess if you want to be discreet.
Yes, I came in here to brag about me getting paid for sex.
Gigolo over here.
Yeah. All right.
Or, have you not been home lately?
No, I've been home.
Okay. You saying it's for somebody else?
Yeah.
Jeff.
Trying to call my wife a
It's okay to call him.
Never.
I'm not going to kick your ass. She will.
Until you get the answers to this dilemma. I don't know. Never rule anything out.
I would get a hold of him. I'd say, hey, just to confirm, and it's probably what you think it is. But if it isn't, then yeah, maybe you don't want to know.
It's very true. I'll probably have to call my mom and see if she.
And now you know it's there. It's probably got to be.
I bet it was my mom. It has to be, because you're right. Ken's too cheap, and I think Christina's too responsible.
Yeah, you've got your list of suspects or whatever candidates.
All right, Seth's up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow. ACDC 2. Bye-bye.
93.3 KZOZ rocks the 805.